Hey, what is going on, everybody? Blaze for here, and today I have for you another video of Black Clover Mobile. And inside this video, guys, we're going to be going over a special interview with GameWith here that ended up talking to Vic Studios, and they went over a lot more questions that we wanted answers. At least gave us at least a little bit in depth for certain things. So we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. Guys, I'm excited already. So if we go ahead and look straight into the Twitter page here, the official Black Clover actual site posted this, right? They ended up saying that they had the interview here with GameWith, and the lucky thing for us is we have it all translated. So let me go ahead and go over to Discord real quick. Now, if you guys want to, of course, see things like this on a daily basis and see things all the way like when it's posted, be sure to join the Black Clover Mobile Discord. I'll have the link down below in the description. They usually have everything here immediately. So as we're going over this here, this one is of course a new interview. This isn't anything that's old. This is all brand new here. Now this is kind of interesting because we get to talk to Troy once again here, and then GameWith is asking a few questions. Now one of the few questions is how did they decide to develop Black Clover, which is a Japanese IP? Now, this is one thing that we kind of wanted to know a little bit, mainly just because like, what made them really go for Black Clover? What was it? There's so many other animes out there, but what made them go for Black Clover? Now, for this, he really stated that it's a decent IP as well, and it has high global recognition. So not only in Japan, but it's known everywhere as well. And he wanted something that was a heartwarming type of feel, right? He wanted more emotions. So throughout this whole interview, he goes over emotions and stuff like that. And he wants us to become immersed into the main character as Asta and his friends in their worldview. So I find that pretty interesting off rip. That was something that was just something small that he went over that I found was very, very nice to see. Now they go over a little bit of They go over a little bit over the preview of how it was high quality and such. He didn't expect to see this response, at least at Jump Festa. They were really happy that they got this response from us apparently, and they weren't expecting it. So for what they did, yes, it was very, very polished, but from what it seems like is they still have a little bit of work to do on this, and we kind of get more of a hint of this later on. Now, as we're gonna keep going down with GameWith, they asked a few questions that are fairly interesting, and one of them I wanted to know as well, because I went over this yesterday, was in the preview there was a scene where you could operate the caster and run the royal capital freely. But is it possible to do the same in other cities, other characters? Also, many NPCs were seen in the royal capital, but will it be specification that allowing shopping in quest? Now that's a lot to chew. That's a lot to chew. But he immediately responded with something that I wasn't kind of expecting here. He said, Black Clover Mobile reproduces the magical world of the TV animation and is produced based on main places of the story. So what we have is Haji Village, of course, Black Bull's hideout. Now, if they're following the main places of the story, we already know which places are most likely going to be in this game, and it's going to be straight up amazing. But like it says, so we can feel more immersed. Now, it's configured so that you can directly operate the character and experience the main story. We are also considering, this is the big part, okay. We already knew about operating our character, which is Asta, to play the main story. But this is something that caught me interesting here, was we are also considering creating an event with a major person or NPC at each site. Now that's interesting here. That's interesting here because that's different from 7DS. 7DS has never had like an actual NPC that has been part of a major event at each like site or each city. The only thing I can think of that's like this is pretty much the village donation event where you would do that and you get stuff for your characters. But they're making it says a major person for this event and NPCs at each site. Now this is kind of interesting because I'm trying to think of what they would do with this. And it's pretty cool because they're already going with different events that they know they want to make. And this one itself seems like it's going to be very, very creative. So this is giving me some hope when it comes to their events. They're going to make them very creative. They're going to make them in depth somehow and make them really fun for the players to play. Now, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting because he kind of beat around the bush a little bit. But at the same time, he managed to throw us a little bit of bait that said, hey, yo, I'll give you something. I'll give you something that can actually answer a little bit what you want to hear. So I'm kind of interested with that here. Now, we go back to Game With asking, as far as we can see from the preview, it seems that there is development that traces the story of the animation, but is it possible for the player to experience the story of Black Clover? Now, this is obvious, okay? We already know. It's going to be going throughout just the entire TV animation pretty much and going through the magical world. That was something that we just kind of noticed, and he literally replied just like that. So, let's continue going. And one of the few things people have been asking recently is, are you planning to develop an original story? Now, the reason why they asked this, for those who don't know, 7DS made its own original story called Seven Deadly Sins story, I think Record of Ragnarok, or just Ragnarok pretty much. And it's based off of Greek mythology. You can pretty much guess of how it's gonna go and how things are going. And it's really, really good. It's really good. So a lot of people now are thinking, since this is going down the same path, will it have an original story? They immediately said, right now we're basically planning to follow in the story, but they didn't deny it would ever be a thing. So maybe in the future we might see an original story later down the line. It did take 7DS quite a while to do this, but hey, we might be able to see it. So that's actually freaking amazing that we see this. Now they said next, what kind of game will it be? Now, we already knew it's just an animation sensible RPG. That's pretty much what he said, with just cute side characters here. Grimoires, Magic Knights, it's pretty much just like the TV. So we got the answer, of course. Now, if we continue going down here, there was one thing that he actually ended up saying, but I'm going to go down the list. Beautiful graphics, how many characters will appear? Oh yes, then we had the question of how many characters are going to appear on release. Now, they said that they can't provide an accurate answer to how many people will appear, so we do know for a fact. The characters that we have confirmed right now, we are getting most likely much more. So that's amazing. That is freaking amazing. I'm ready for it. I'm actually really, really ready for it. Hopefully we get some more information on that soon, because that is absolutely crazy to see. Now, another thing that we asked was, what are your thoughts on the battle system? And they beat around the bush so hard. They beat around the bush so freaking hard here. And he said, again, I can't say clearly at the development stage. One thing I can say is that we have strengthened the story's element and developed it so you can enjoy the battle. We are trying to get different impressions depending on the player's choice in the game. This is interesting. And this might set this aside different. You guys tell me what you think about this. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into this. But they're going off player's choice in the game. Now, if you guys know anything like the butterfly effect too, or different things like that with different outcomes, that would be cool to see in this game. Like, they can somehow still rope it in to the Black Clover type of story as well, then follow the story, but still you have certain bad options or actions that could happen in this game due to that butterfly effect happening. That would be that'd be pretty dang cool. They're trying to get some different impressions and stuff like that. I think that would be dope. That would be kind of cool to see, at least a little bit in depth there. I think I would like that. But we still have more to this. In fact, there's a whole part 2 to it here, and we go down a little bit further. Oh, whoops, went down too far, I think. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're fine. All right. And so our next one is, are there any points that you are particular about when creating the world view? Now, another thing is, they said, I think it is important to make the most of what is expressed in the TV animation, such as the overall atmosphere, theme of battle, direction, and we are making a lot of efforts such as placing NPCs in the right place so that players can experience and enjoy the magical world. Now, they are really going in on the details when it comes to like where people are, stuff like that, who they are and stuff like that. And I kind of appreciate that. So we can definitely appreciate this. Give them a little bit of a pat on the back and a clap too, because they're taking out their time for this. They're really going in with this with depth. So our next one that we had here was among the fans of Black Clover. There are a lot about the existence of character voices, but please tell us if there's going to be decisions currently made. Now they said, I think voice is an important factor in making you feel the excitement of TV animation. We are recording character voices in the future, so we know for a fact they're getting some voice lines. Like we're getting voice lines, of course, here, and seeing that they're recording the character voices, we know dang well it's gonna be by the dang voice actors. I'm excited with that because hey, hearing my favorite voice actors inside of a game at the same time, it's something about it. It just gets you immersed into it a little bit more, and I kind of like that. Now we're gonna continue going on here. And they pretty much went over the pay attention part to the most game, and they went off of flashiness, scale, and stuff to play at least convey an impression. So like that was pretty interesting to see that they said, but that was just pretty much a summarized version of that. And then right down here, this actually ended up proving something that I wanted to be proved here of how the global would be. Now I did this video yesterday or like 2 days ago of how global it would be when they release it, and they answered it right here. Now GameWit asked them, on the official trailer there seems to be a lot of reaction in languages other than Japan, but is the delivery country only Japan? He immediately responded with, the service is planned to be global service. So global service. Now global in general applies to NA and EU. Now, and at least if I'm hoping, there's me crossing my fingers, Asia, but mainly NA and EU. As for the others, it says excluding Japan, South Korea, and some other regions. So Asia might be on the chopping block, but we know for a fact Japan and South Korea are going to be their own ordeals. So we got JP version of Black Clover. We'll have a Korean version of Black Clover, unless those two are mixed. But we know for a fact NA and EU will be mixed. So that is absolutely amazing. We had our things answered. Thank Jesus, because I was actually kind of worried about that. Definitely when it came to the guild side of things, was kind of worried about that. But that took a lot of a burden off your shoulders right there. The next answer was, or question was, it was announced that the service will start in 2022, but when has it been decided? Such as the main date. Now they immediately told us, since it's in the development stage, we cannot provide the exact date, but we are aiming for service within 2022. Now, don't take this as a shot in the heart, because they are having a focus group test, I think next month. So take it with some help, because they're already polished it. They've already said that they're polishing it up the most, doing very well with this. So take it as we know it's coming. At least I'd say give it mid-year. Heck, I want to see it in April earliest, please, because that would be lovely. Just seeing it then, I think it'll do well. I think it'll do well. I'm saying it right now. I feel like it's gonna be in April or a month after. I'm hoping it's April though. So that's actually not a bad idea right there. Now, the next thing that they wanted to ask, and I think it's the last thing that they ask here, is finally, I would like to ask the fans who are looking forward to the release of Black Clover Mobile. Now, he states is Big Game Studios is developing with the goal of showing players highly complete works. This was very interesting here, and they're trying to literally make this the best game ever. So I gotta say this, guys, be patient. Just stick with this game. I can promise you, they're not gonna let us down here. They're not gonna let us down. Sit with it, stick with it, and just keep up with this game because it's gonna be blowing things out the water. But that was the end of this special interview here by GameWith. If you guys enjoyed this, and if you really do enjoy my type of content, be sure to go to the channel. Of course, hit that freaking subscribe button because we're coming up on 160 subs. We're gonna see if we can hit 200 at least before a month and a half, because I know we ain't blowing out the water in a month. It's literally the 21st today. This was made 23rd. There ain't no way we getting 50 more people in 2 days unless you guys are just built different. I'm sorry about that for downplaying you because you guys are awesome. But you guys have been doing amazing work lately. Sorry that I do sound a little bit deeper in voice. Did just roll out of bed when making this. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please slap that like button with your forehead. Consider subscribing if you are new. I do daily almost said Grand Cross. Oh my lord. Daily Black Clover mobile videos. Peace.